I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get your passport back from the Internal Revenue Service. I was a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. I worked at IRS for 10 years. I've been in private practice for 40 years. I am a national expert in IRS resolution matters. I have a whole team of former IRS agents on staff. Most of the 7,200 subscribers I have come to me by way of seeing me on the national news. I appreciate you being here. Most of my subscribers will tell you you get good information, honest and trustworthy information. And by the way, you can see me on my on the national news in a coat and tie at 777irs.com. You can see all my national news articles, but more important, see my team. I do these videos so you don't get ripped off. Number two, you get insider information. And number three, I educate you and tell you kind of what's going on. You know, about 5 years ago, the government passed what's called the FAST Act, F-A-S-T, and that it was included in this FAST Act to improve the highway system. I know you're thinking, where am I going with this? It was this one little piece of legislation in there that said if you owe serious debt to Internal Revenue Service, that they could go ahead and revoke, suspend, or deny your passport. Crazy thing to build the roads, but IRS kind of threw this in there. Don't know who the hell in fact did this. Probably should shoot the person who went ahead and did this. But serious debt at that time was considered $52,000. Since then, it has gone to $59,000. So if you owe $59,000 to IRS, you will get a 508C letter. That 508C letter lets you know that IRS has suspended and denied your passport, and you have 90 days from the date of getting that letter, or IRS will go ahead and guess what? Suspend, deny, revoke. You can't get your passport. It's there on hold. They're waiting for you to call the government and get your case in uncollectible payment agreement or offer in compromise, and then they will get your letter back. And if you have imminent travel, you can contact them with information and go ahead and get it back a little earlier, or they'll expedite it as much as they can. If you have that 508C letter, this means you have a federal tax lien filed against you. Whether you know it or not, whether you got a copy or not, who knows? IRS isn't really getting good these days on letting people know they have federal tax liens. But in fact, if this has happened to you, you're going to have to go ahead and act within that 90 days. If you don't, you're going to have to go ahead and put in for a brand new passport after the 90 days. So if you want to get your passport back, basically you got to have someone call IRS and get your case put in uncollectible payment agreement or file for an offer in compromise to settle your debt. An offer is going to take at least a year to work, but at least if you at least have it in there, they should be able to undo this process. The question is, do you really want to call IRS yourself or not? Now, when you watch these videos, some people feel good doing that. They feel confident doing that. And if you do, you should do this. But let me just throw a little monkey wrench in there so you understand this. I'm all for people doing it themselves, like the Home Depot. You go there, you pick up all the plants, everything, and then all of a sudden, you go ahead and you put some plumbing hardware in, and all of a sudden you break something, and now you don't know what to do, and now you got to call a tax professional. Here's the problem and what you need to understand about how IRS works. IRS does not make it easy for you to go ahead and get a payment agreement or put in hardship, because most people don't know there's a national standards program with IRS. What that means is IRS is going to dictate to you what your expenses need to be. So IRS has national standards for food and clothing, housing and utilities, car payments, and car operations. So you may want to put down, IRS is going to want a financial statement. You're going to put down exactly what your what you have, what your expenses are, and IRS is just going to say, not allow them. Now you owe us $2,000 a month because you're not living into the standards that we have. So I'm just letting you know, if you want to get your passport back and you have to get your case put in a hardship or a payment agreement or file an offer, if you don't know what you're doing, do not call IRS. It's far worth it to call someone who knows what they're doing. Also, make sure all your tax returns are filed. Make sure you got estimate payments, and then you're still going to have to deal with your federal tax lien. IRS has made a mess out of this. It should be so simple, but it's not. Anyway, if you need help, I'm a former IRS agent. I've been doing this for 50 years. We have a team of affordable IRS tax experts. That's my big promo, but I can help you. We have free consultations. Hit me up and give me a subscription if you would. YouTube values subscriptions, so I have to value them. So if you'd give me one, I'd really appreciate it, and we can help get your passport back. Thank you.